So there's a full broad look. Let's just bring it down a little bit more so you can see that. And let's just bring this down into a more of a wave. And the wave is in there. Remember how I said before that when you roll down, you're always going to have an S pattern. So the wave is in there. You're always going to find an S pattern. You just have to find it. And if you really want to hang on to it, you need some of these wave clamps. So you find your ridge and you go in at the bottom and you just clamp it right at that ridge. Or you can use these silver clips. You will always be able to push your ridge and your wave back in. Now let's make a side part. Let's keep it relatively short so that we can have some of this crown, which I call section 4, will come down. And you will find your ridge. It's there. They're all going to blend right in with one another. Just scraping. I'm not removing all that cheese in there. So let's take and do a side, let's pin it to the side. You want to decide on how much of this you want to be pinned. So this is what I call section 1. Depending on your hairline, if you need to give yourself some more hair for this hairline, then let it down. You don't need a massive section of hair to get this nice pop. So this is going to be we're gonna do a side part with this. Now, what I want to show you is we're gonna put this in after. I'm gonna go for some major height back here. And again, depending on how wide the head is. If the head is flat, you're going to need a wider crown tease. If the head is pointy, you can get away with a more narrow crown tease. And I'll show you how to comb out a flip later on too. I'm going to show you some ways to make your own hair padding. So I'm going to take this section and I'm going to put it back here to get some real fullness. And what this is this is just a regular hair donut from Sally's, and if you clip it, there's little threads in here holding it together. If you clip it, you get a long sock, like a long one, really long. And if you cut it, then you take this fake hair. You just take a piece of it and rat it up, knot it up, ball it up, and then stick it inside the sock. And because it's so stretchy, you can create different shapes. You can fold it over, you can put it in the back. Super convenient when the little kids don't have a lot of hair and you don't have one of those pieces. We can cover a lot of real estate and make their hair look a lot bigger than it is. And you could use a bigger one in the back for a French twist. So these are super easy to make up and fun to play with. So you want to look at where you want your height. You don't want to go too low. You don't want to not have enough hair in the front to cover it. So I think that looks about good. And I'm just going to stretch out the sides, fold them under. So I have just a nice little, about the size of a fist. I'm going to stick it right in this teasing. Just need to grab a little bit, stretch it down, and get into that teasing. And you're going to do the corners because you don't want to flatten out the height in the middle. This is a great thing if you do have more of a flat head shape and you want to get some more fullness. But you don't necessarily need hair. You don't need extensions. You don't need density. You just need better shape. Okay. I'm going to bring this back. Remember, this is our front piece. And this will help so much where the, you might not get enough of what you're looking for just from the tease. Now I'm going to just steal a little bit of that front piece. When you like, oh, I can see through it, I don't have enough, like try not to say I made a mistake or I screwed up. You just like, oh, I'll just steal some of that, we'll make it work. Our mindset is so important when we're working and we get so, we can get so stressed and then we don't think of the help that's right there because somehow we feel like we did something wrong. Now I don't like to use a ton of hairspray on these mannequin heads. They're expensive and I have to wash them to get it out and they really don't have a lot of hair, so I'm not using as much hairspray as you might use for a real person. So we've got a beautiful bump in just the right place. And let's take this side bang. And we can bring it up and across. We can bring it down. If you have a short forehead, you're going to want it up. And we've got some nice root tees in there, and you want to hold it. And this is really popular technique right now with the hairdressers. You want to just do some pinching. You want to do some pinching, letting it slide out of your hands. And you're just grabbing bits of hair on the top. And you're pushing it back. And you decide what's going to work for you. Maybe you like that. And so back here, you want to lift up. There's your padding. Come into the padding. And you could just poke it right straight in to the padding. Come back to the front and make sure you're happy with what you're seeing. You can always use these clips that don't have any of the marks. And you can put your ridges in there, but you're going to have a beautiful clean swoop right in the front. Go back here. I'm going to take what was sitting over the padding. Just bring it down. You have some nice pop. You got your bang. Now I'm going to show you a simple way to go into evening wear with this.